Hey, I'm Ron Drotos from keyboardimprov.com, and welcome to our 15th piano myth-busting video where we look at these myths. Sometimes people tell us, sometimes we tell ourselves, and they hold us back. They hold us back and prevent us from becoming the musicians that we want to be and that we deserve to be and that we're capable of being. So this myth says, quote, we have to become proficient on our instrument in order to start jamming with other musicians. And this is one that a lot of musicians tell themselves. Maybe you tell yourself this and it's holding you back, if so. Basically, we have this idea that whether we're playing rock, blues, jazz, folk music, pop, or whatever, that we have to get really good before we can play with a bass player or a saxophonist or whatever. And it's absolutely not true. In fact, it's the opposite. This is totally backwards. In order to become proficient, we need to play with other musicians. It's not that we have to become proficient first, because often it never happens. Because not only are we not getting the benefit from playing with those musicians, but we're scared of it somehow. It comes from fear, basically. So we want to get past this because it's holding us back, basically. So what we want to do, though, is sort of reverse, again, our perception of what it means to play with other musicians. Now, if your idea of jamming with let's say you're playing, well, it doesn't matter, rock, blues, jazz, whatever. But let's say your idea of playing with other musicians is to go down to a local club where there's a professional group hired to back up and accompany all the people coming to sit in. Yes, that can be pretty terrifying if you've never jammed with other musicians before, and you have to be moderately proficient enough to do that. You have to know the 12-bar blues, you have to be able to play in tempo, you have to sound pretty good when you're soloing, you have to know jazz tunes, whatever style you're playing. You have to be able to play, or it's not going to be fun for anybody, and it's pretty terrifying the first time. I used to hate going into those kind of jam sessions. I ended up playing at them, and I was very nice to people who sat in. But as a participant, I was always pretty terrified when I was a teenager and in my young 20s. However, that's not the best place to start. What you need to do is start the way I did. Whatever age you're at, whether you're a teenager or an adult or whatever, you need to find somebody who is at your level or just a little under or a little over your level and play with them on your own terms. Okay? So let's say you know your basic chords and you can play kind of like a pop ballad accompaniment. Okay? Find a singer. Find somebody who works in the next office to you or whatever it is, or your cousin's friend who likes to sing and say, hey, let's just get together once a week and play pop tunes or Broadway songs, or let's say you like jazz standards. You can still just play them like that with that kind of accompaniment. Any singer is going to want to sing with you. They need an accompanist. It's fun, right? So you get better by doing it. Or let's say you play jazz, but you can't really play tunes yet. You can't really get through Autumn Leaves and tempo and feeling good. But you know the Dorian mode. Okay, so you get together with a sax player who's about that same level, just learning some standards, and you say, hey, let's just jam on a G minor 7th chord, and we'll play the Dorian mode. And you go, 1, 2, 3, 10, and you keep a beat, and they solo the best they can, and then it's your turn, and you just keep a beat, and you solo, and you just have so much fun. That's what I did when I was in high school. I was in a rock band with my friends, like ages 15 to 16, and we played all the classic rock songs from the 60s and 70s. This would have been about 1981, 81 we formed the band. And but at the same time, we would jam. So we would take like Pink Floyd tune like Comfortably Numb. I think we played it in D minor. And we just played the blues scale for 20 minutes. The guitarist would take a solo. I would take a keyboard solo. The bass player would take a solo. The drummer would take a solo. We weren't trying to become proficient before we started. We became proficient by doing that and just had such a good time. So yeah, just jam on one, and we would do that. We would just play like A minor 7 for 20 minutes. That's why on this YouTube channel I created my 31-day jazz piano, what did I call it, workouts or workout challenge for beginners, and also there's one for rock too. You can try that. Just search this channel for rock, 31-day jazz, 31-day rock, and it will lead you through this, just having fun by jamming. But even more importantly than that, find another musician who's at your level, or musicians, and jam with them in order to get proficient. Don't wait until you're proficient, because you might never get there and you'll be missing out on all the fun. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate this. We're going to have about 30, 35 of these by the time we're finished, and just promote having a healthy frame of mind for our improvisation and our musical development. Thanks for being here. Take care.